You're there. Okay. Allow me to take a seat, and you need to take one too, because I need to be seated to have this conversation. I think you also need to sit down. No, it's not heavy. It's one of those, if I could, I'd offer you a cup of tea. First things first, are you well? Are you still keeping your hands clean? Putting on your mask? Social distance? It's very easy to forget that the reason we are here today, you and I, is because we did that consistently. Okay. So I want to jump into the conversation I want to have with you. The one I was like, vuta stool, leta chai. And because I want to have it in a structured manner, allow me to write certain things. I'm going to write Ruaka, Kayole, Solomon. No, this is not about him, don't worry. And Komarok. It's important. Okay. Now, if you don't know me and meeting me for the first time, welcome to my TED Talk and my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I've not always been a platinum blonde. However, I think I've always had the capacity to spark certain things, conversations, controversy, debate, it doesn't matter. And I love the space I occupy, okay? And the other day I told you that I want to take me, this me, and move myself into other spaces that I have always looked at, like from afar, and figured somebody else will do that. Not appreciating that actually, every time we're like, why doesn't somebody's me, okay? So let me tell you why the first thing I wrote here was Rwaka. When I got a chance to walk through the Alma in Rwanda in 2020 and speak to Edwin Dande and congratulate him and Saitan. Edwin, this video is not about you. Sit down. Something occurred to me that I was impressed, and rightfully so, with the job that had been done there, because the way this country works in two ways, the way developers work and the way the customers work, is the developers are already clear that they don't have to do a lot, especially if they're in a certain area, because usiharibu pesa. Okay, we're like that. And the customers themselves have never demanded more, because we've set the bar so low, we're happy for any little thing. Am I right? Right. So when you go to the Alma and you're like, the renders promise this, and is there a children's play area? Tick. Is there a garden on a certain level and it's not on the ground? Tick. Is there a swimming pool? Is it a good one? Tick. Is there a car borough throughout the entire development? Tick. Beautiful, not tight, ugly car parks? Tick. Elevators that work all the time? Tick. Generators standby? Tick. Are you getting, and did they promise Adobe service within? Tick. So when those things happen, we're all like, what's the catch? And it's because the developers themselves set the bar low, because we as customers have never set the bar higher. Okay? So that's part one. Pack that. Kayole. Do you remember a couple of years ago, must have been 2 years ago, I went to see a supermarket in Kayole, clean shelf. Do you remember how you all reacted? You're like, jive to Nakona. Why? Once again, because nobody puts something that good looking in that part of Nairobi. Okay? So the people of Kayole themselves impressed with their supermarket, and the developers themselves, the owners of the supermarket, impressed with what they've put together and really happy about what they're getting, and also surprised that their customers are buying the octopus, the fish, the what. I will never forget my time at Clean Shelf in Kayole. Pack that. Once again, remember, the bar on both sides has always been set pretty low. Let me talk about Solomon. Maybe 2019, we're having a conversation about different things. This is Solomon Wangwe of Goshen. Once again, Solomon, sit down. This is not about you. I'm not selling land. But he was telling me that he wants to be able to do housing, but he wants to raise the bar on it so that it looks good, it feels good, It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, but he knows that he wants to do something good. Obviously, the pushback once again becomes, why are you wasting money? I mean, you could cut corners and still make crazy tunes. Why? Because customers are not expecting anything better if you're building in Kino, if you're building in Dandora. No, customers are not. Once again, where the bar is set. This now brings me to Komarok. And the reason I say Komarok is that when I was driving to Mullum Heights, I told you I was going to Mullum. Somebody on the video said, where's Mullum? Saika. Uko, Google makes me very happy. Google says, and now to Komarok. Hey, Google. And then, of course, she gets antsy with you, like it's not your phone. Turn right, turn right. You're like, chick, there's a truck in front of me. I'm about to turn right. Anyway, when I first went to see the development that is Mullum Heights, and I will be unveiling it for you in a couple of days, I looked at it and I said, yes. And I know the contractor and the developer looked at me and said, yes. I said, yes, let's do this. Because once again, in an area where if you drive for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes in either direction from where it is, there's nothing like it. Everything else looks, and I'm sorry to say this, but actually, no, I'm not. It looks like it was put together quickly so that somebody can make some money. But is that person making money? Yes. Are there people living in things that don't look right? Yes. Why? Because once again, we as a people don't believe we deserve better because we only know what we see. And because developers realized we will live in a shoebox, with water and if we're lucky, electricity, they continue to put up certain stuff. And I take immense pride in being part of the narrative and showcasing what sets the bar for the next, because we must raise the bar. I'm going to finish this by telling you a story about Rwanda. 2018, I was invited by one and only to go and do a review of the one and only Nyungwe. You must go. You must. I've never been able to get in since then. And I flew in, chopper to Nyungwe, but took the road trip back to Kigali. And my driver was a storyteller. The sun is really beautiful out here, and that's why I keep looking out. I'll tell you where I am. And as he was telling me about the area we're driving through and where we were, there was a point where he said, I hope you've noticed that we have either tiled roofs or corrugated sheets, but we don't have thatched or mud. And he was telling me, and my people in Rwanda, please, correct me if I'm wrong. He told me that President Kagame had made a decree and a promise that no Rwandan would ever live under a thatched roof. Did you hear what I said? And it is something that he, as my driver that day, was proud to tell me, that not a single Rwandan lives under a thatched roof, a mud, that the roof over your head will be long-lasting and durable. Dignity is such an important thing. So I'm going to finish this conversation here. I'm going to wait for you to see what I did in Mullum. I'm so happy. I mean, anyway, you see it in my face. And I want us to get into this space where we're raising the bar everywhere, consistently. Okay? Yeah. We must raise the bar, either as customers or as service providers or providers of goods and services. Because I think as customers, if we don't raise the bar, they will continue to give us whatever they think they need to give us to maximize the bottom line, which, by the way, they'll always do. But until we do better on either side, we will never get better. That's it.